Hello and welcome to On the Road, a series where we feature people, initiatives and good news stories from various locations here in Ireland and beyond. Today we are in Dungarvan, County Waterford in the south of Ireland, where we will be meeting with Vicky Wall from Every Life Counts. Vicky, it's great to be here. What does Every Life Counts do?
Every Life Counts is a support organisation that supports parents that find themselves with a diagnosis of their baby before baby is born. And we support those families.
And when and how was it started?
It actually started in 2011 when a group of mothers that their babies had received a poor diagnosis felt that there was better options out there, better support, better care that could be given to these families and their babies. And they came together and formed Every Life Counts, looking for perinatal hospice as a solution for the care for these families that they needed.
And what sort of life-limiting circumstances do you mean?
There's so many, unfortunately. There's anencephaly, there's the trisomy 13 and trisomy 18. There's some babies that have very poorly little hearts. So there's lots of different things that can affect a baby. Even some things that wouldn't have names would just be all different things wrong with the little baby. And again, that's where parents need support as well as in the not knowing.
And take me through those emotional steps that when a parent or mother and father receives that diagnosis, I guess, through a hospital visit, through medical consultation.
So we know at time of diagnosis, it's a hugely traumatic event. Normally, you're going in to find out is the baby a boy or a girl. And we know that parents are never expecting this, especially if the diagnosis is very severe. You might think there might be something else wrong that can be fixed, but when you're told that nothing can be done, it almost just doesn't ring true for parents. So it is a hugely traumatic event at time of diagnosis. And this is where parents need that time to be supported and cared for, and just to give them time really to adjust to what they've been told. So when a parent reaches us at that point, that's what we do. We just give them some time to think and space to realise that, this can be okay, it's not the journey they planned and it's not what they would ever have hoped for. But this is still their baby and they still love this baby no matter what. And it's just giving them the support around that. But it is a very, very traumatic time for parents. And it almost sends parents into a fight or flight mode.
And I'm glad you actually referred to that, because looking at your website, you have some very, very strong and positively impacting objectives. For example, being there as an outreach for parents, then providing a safeguarding place where that tiny life can be cherished for the short time that's anticipated. But there are a range of very powerful objectives. Can you speak into those a little?
Yeah, we strongly advocate for babies not to be dehumanised, which we find it does happen. It happens all the time. And parents will feed back to us that at time of diagnosis, all of a sudden, little baby becomes the fetus or it. So we strongly work towards changing that narrative and the stories that are spread around these children, that this fatal fetal abnormality and this terrible bad thing, which it is an absolutely terrible event to happen for a child to be lost, but they don't show the love that can be experienced around these children or the children that do go on to live. So we we will always advocate for these babies, for them to be given love, respect, and the chance to be with their families.
So Every Life Counts provides a place where these little babies can be acknowledged, and then obviously a place where parents can reach out, for the support. And then, of course, within that context, there's that very strong objective, which is almost part of, I imagine, the core, which is providing the gift of time when time is so limited.
Yeah, I think from experience, you just can't see past the diagnosis when you're in that place, this initial diagnosis. You can't see how you can ever hope for anything with this baby. But we do say to parents that you can hope for so many different things. You can hope to meet your baby alive. You can hope to get to the end of your pregnancy. You can hope for your baby to be christened. You can hope that they'll open their eyes and you'll spend some time with them. So hope changes after diagnosis for these little babies. But yeah, it's about, as you said, the gift of time and letting parents know that you can still love this baby. You can have your time with this baby, and it's never enough time. But you can love them, and you can look back with such wonderful memories of your time with your baby, and it can be such a different event to how you see it in your head.
And it's a point that's perhaps very much understated, because obviously, one can read about it, on your website and read the information. But when you deal with people that have gone through it, it seems wondrous in a way that, the days and the hours that are spent with the little one just being born are of such quality time.
Yeah, we have never met a parent that has said that they regretted continuing with their pregnancy and having their baby. And you just pour a lifetime of love into, the short time you have with them. And we help with memory making. We provide all the items that a parent may need for memory making for siblings, handprints, footprints, clay casts, molds, and you just really can make that, and it's so precious. It's not something that you'll ever forget. And that's their little life, that's their time, and that's your time with them. And we always find, every single time, that when we offer that to parents, when we say, you can do this, you can have this time, you can make it special, you can laugh, you can cry, you can have all that, and your other children can be there, and it will be a beautiful time in your life. As soon as they realise that, they're like, oh yeah, we can do that. And it is simply, as you said, the gift of time.
And it seems to me that, your compassionate approach and the whole manner in which you implement the work of this wonderful charity, it's so positively well done, so positively meticulous and detailed, that and I guess it speaks to the compassionate place that you come from yourself and your own background in this area.
Yeah, I think baby loss is a big thing, but you almost have to know what it feels like. It's very unique, and I would have been one of the kind of people that didn't understand how losing a little baby that you hadn't met could just affect you so badly, how bad it feels to get a diagnosis that this little baby won't live. And yeah, it's such an honour to know these babies, to be around them. It's easy to be compassionate when you're just around such a special time in people's lives, and you get to meet these amazing little children and their amazing parents that are advocating so hard for them. And just to know them is amazing. But even my own story has helped me in that. And it was always a thing for me that I never wanted any parent to feel alone and that they couldn't reach out to somebody, because it's so important that somebody is there for them.
And one of the very practical things on your website is the aspect of creating a birth plan.
We love doing birth plans with parents because one of the things a parent will feel is lack of control. And all of a sudden this pregnancy becomes very medicalised, and you're told all the things that you can't have and that won't happen. So we have devised a lovely template of birth plans that is specific to different babies, and we offer them all up to parents and they can devise their own from that. It's a wonderful service, and it's just to give parents a bit of control back over the birth of their child. They can make it very beautiful. You can still do some of the things you wanted to do. And anybody that's had babies know that not always do birth plans go to plan, but it's nice to have that in place and just to remember that you're still having this baby. This baby is still your son or daughter, and it can still be somewhat the experience that you wanted.
And it seems to me, Vicky, that one of the huge talents that you have here is helping parents to open up and reach out, because each case brings its own complexity, its own unique set of circumstances. So, how do you actually engage that person on the telephone or on the helpline because it's obviously a very traumatic situation for them, having just possibly received that news, but I suppose, dare I say, reassure them and set them on a journey to more positivity and ultimately, to get them to that birth plan phase. And obviously,
so when parents ring, sometimes they could just, we'll answer with "This is Every Life Counts," and they could just be silent, and they may be silent for a couple of minutes, because to say out loud to somebody that your baby is going to pass away is a huge thing to even come to terms with yourself. It's a huge thing. So we know that. And normally when that happens, because anybody who answers the phone has gone through this, we would normally start with our own stories and say, "Well, I tell you a little bit about my little girl or my little boy." And that can help parents to feel safe, because they do feel very alone. They always say that they just feel like they're the only people in the world that this has happened to. And then in the wonderful world of technology, we have a text service as well, where parents can contact us by text or by email. And we do find a lot of parents prefer that, because it gives them time to write a message and to look back at it and then hit send, and that can be easier for parents to contact us. So we have a lot of contact via email as well.
And there's two things there I want to maybe explore with you. Is what would happen if your services were not here? And then secondly, how can you and your co-workers nourish that, I suppose, greater interest from medical practitioners and the public at large to create just a growing recognition of the need for these services?
We held a very wonderful, if I do say so myself, perinatal hospice conference in Dublin. And we had the wonderful, amongst others, Dr. Marty McCaffrey from America come over to speak at that. We had 140 medical professionals come from Ireland to be at that conference, which was amazing. And even you can find all these videos on YouTube. It was such an amazing conference, and people got so much from that, and listening to the experts talking. Dr. Pavici from Spain, world-renowned doctors that knows that perinatal hospice is compassionate care and it's suitable care for these babies, that there is other options out there for them. We are hoping to hold another one in the next few years. It's a lot to organise one, but we always keep it to the front and foremost of Every Life Counts. We always support parents, absolutely, but we have got to make sure that these aspects of care are looked at going forward, that perinatal hospice is up there, that it is being spoken about, that these children are not just dismissed and not just fobbed off, and parents are not made feel like their child is worthless, which is what we hear back. These children are given dignity and care around their short lives.
Your work, it's obviously so empowering, in my opinion, that it must have had something to do with the empowerment of women to be able to speak so publicly on an issue that affects so many people.
Yeah, you'll find our mothers, our mama bears, as I call them, you know, there's nothing like a love you have for your child. When you have to advocate for your child, when you feel that you're not being listened to or your child isn't receiving the care that they need or that you want for them, yeah, mothers do get into a different space at that. And we do, we hope we do, empower mothers and fathers to go into a hospital and say, look, you know what? We want to try something different with this, with our baby. We, know there is different situations. We know our baby is very sick, but we also know there's other ways we can look at this situation.
And the amazing testimonies that you got from parents, give me some examples of that, because there are some incredible ones.
We have a gorgeous website, as you've mentioned, with stories on it that I feel like they're almost food for the soul. Because whereas some people say they're very sad, reading those stories, they're nothing but love. And you get to firsthand read those stories. You first get to firsthand witness just devotion of love, just absolute love, nothing else, no agendas, no anything else, just love for that baby. And whether the baby passed before it was born or lived for some time afterwards, we've a gorgeous video of baby Faith Wilson, and she lived for 15 days, defying everything the doctor said about her, everything. They said this baby wouldn't make it past labour and delivery, never mind get home. And she was and is the light of her parents' life. So her wonderful videos there. We've a recent story gone up of baby Michael, and his story is so they're all beautiful. I could name a few, but I don't want to look like I'm picking out favourites because they're all very special stories. So yeah, definitely have a look on our website at these stories. You won't be disappointed. And one of the comments under Baby Faith's video says, I've just received this diagnosis, and now that I've seen this video, it's given me hope that I can continue to have my son and spend some time with him. And that's what it is. We're showing the other side. We're showing that this can be so different to what you've been told in the hospital or what you've read in the paper or some other horror story somewhere, that these can be just gentle, beautiful, loving stories.
Can you tell us about the memory-making days and the little angel days?
Yeah, it's one of the big things we do that is so productive, really. It's such a good thing. We host events where it's all the mums. The dads don't tend to come, get together, and we might do an overnight, we might do 2 overnights, and we just do memory making around their baby. They take the time out of their lives to remember their baby and chat with other mothers in the same situation. And we recently held one in the north of Ireland where 16 mothers attended, and the reviews and the feedback we got from parents was just, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like that support and spending time with somebody who just gets it. And the main thing we hear back after these days, after these retreats and these angel days, is the mothers are always so grateful that their baby is given that respect and that time and that honour. Because sometimes with families that don't understand, they tend not to mention baby, or they tend to want to forget, because it's such an awful event, burying a baby. But we remember them with such love, and we talk about them, and we talk about the things that may be funny to us but not to somebody else, and the sad things, and you can cry and you can laugh. And we joke that at these events, if anybody looked in a window and saw these women laughing and crying and then laughing and crying some more, they'd be thinking that we were all gone mad. But it's such a healing space, and it's a wonderful thing that we can give these parents, and they really are a wonderful event that we're very proud of.
Amazing. And does that then progress sometimes into the counselling area and into the retreats that you provide as well?
So what we do is because nobody in Every Life Counts is a counsellor. It's all peer-to-peer support. It's all, we know what you feel, we know what you're going through. We do offer to support counselling if that is what a parent needs. We absolutely can do that. But we have found in our experience that parents just want the peer-to-peer support. We have WhatsApp groups, we have private Facebook groups, we have gatherings, and they say there's nothing like it. Having that, reaching in and saying, girls, I'm having a bad day. You know, somebody said this to me, or, you know, I was just really missing my baby today. And then, you know, everybody's rallying around supporting. And it's amazing. You know, it's a really powerful tool, peer-to-peer support. I've seen it in action, and it's actually kind of even wowed me how beneficial it can be.
Vicky, for the people that know you, they speak of your just humble and so hard-working hours here spent just, you know, sustaining and cherishing all those little lives and adding, you know, quality and support, you know, for the parents that have been given that devastating news. And it's just such a delight to have heard recently about the award that you received, the Butterfly Award.
That was a big shock for us. It was an award that was from the UK. One of the mums from the north of Ireland had nominated us, and then we got other nominations. So we were really blown away by that. We were like, whoa, we weren't expecting that. And we flew over to the UK, and we were nominated for Best Support Organisation and for a thank you award. And we won the thank you award, and we were so surprised and blown away by that, because at this event was like the biggest, you know, of charities and support organisations all doing amazing work. And then little Ola's won, and we were so blown away by it. It was so special to be there and receive that award. And but every time a parent comes back and says, you know, that we were there from, it's just as special as that award.
And one of the fantastic things is, I understand you do this on a shoestring budget, in the obviously hope that, you know, people will continue to pray for your work, to support your work, to send in, you know, whatever donations or financial support they're able to afford. And it's such an amazing area, because whilst all that work is being done, it appears that there's such a need for it. You know, there's no other alternative that holistically caters for what you have just outlined for us in this programme. And what would you say to those people that are watching and listening to this programme today, how they can support your work here in Ireland and beyond?
So we absolutely do run on such a tight budget. I'm very proud of that, how well we do with so little. Of course, we always appreciate prayers. We always need that. There's some days are tough, and we know when we get supported with prayers, we can feel that. We always look for people to knitting for us. Crocheting is another thing that we need doing for us. Absolutely, if anybody wanted to come and visit, if anybody wanted to come to Ireland for a visit, we love visitors. Absolutely, any support is so greatly appreciated. What we do is very much needed. It really is. I mean, the feedback we get from parents, you know, we have some parents saying, you know, you were my lifeline. I don't know how I would have survived without Every Life Counts. And just to honour these babies, it's so special. It's so special. I mean, all of the big organisations have come from the sickest of children. You will find that any hospices or anything like that you see set up, they normally have the child's name in the title. These children are so special, and they deserve the dignity that we offered to give them. They deserve that. But yeah, so if anybody wants to support us in what we do, because we are a needed organisation, and I know there's lots of amazing charities out there and they're all doing great work, but so do we.
For those watching and listening, the work that you do is not just based in Ireland. it's multinational, isn't it, across different countries?
Yeah, due to social media, the world has turned into a very small place. We help a lot of parents in the UK because there's no charity like us in the UK. So we have Ireland, and then in the UK. So we've actually supported probably a lot of parents from the UK in recent years. We've reached as far as America. We've helped parents in America and supported them. In the same token, we've had the American organisations reach out to us and say, we've a parent in the UK. They would have found them before us, which is great that they find anybody. We've also helped babies in the Philippines to have a surgery. Or there was one little baby Jenica, and she had anencephaly, and she got to go home. She was doing okay. She was doing well, and her family just needed oxygen for her. And we actually saw her post on Facebook where her auntie was reaching out to get some help for her. And we were able to step in. We actually had a friend in the Philippines at the time that was able to liaise for us. And baby Jenica lived for 7 days at home with our family and was so cherished. She was a very much loved baby. And we were able to ease that. So yeah, we will help absolutely wherever we need it.
In closing, Vicky, where do you see the growth and the need for Every Life Counts and its wonderful services going forward into the years ahead?
We have seen an increase in the parents needing our services in the last couple of years. There is a change. There is a change in the hospitals. There is a change around care. We see that where these babies have just been written off, and no options are being given to continue a pregnancy and to support that more than anything. It seems to be a case of, well, you're on your own, which is a very scary place to be. So we have seen a big rise for demand in our services, and we would like to always be here to offer what we do offer. So it's about maintaining our organisation and making us more widely known so that more parents can reach us and avail of the support that we offer.
Vicky, thank you very much, and I wish you every success in the future.
Thank you so much, Aidan.